Folks, welcome back to the show. This segment, then we got one more segment, and we'll be out of here for this week. But before we leave you folks, we got a lot more sports to talk with you, and we're really doing a heavy NBA theme the first half of the show, and we're going to continue here into the first half of the second hour, 30 minutes of the show. This is The Cutt. We're here every Sunday, folks, from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. We're here every Wednesday night from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So that's Sundays, 6 to 7 p.m., Wednesdays, 6 to 7 p.m. I'm your host, Craig Shelton. I am the founder of HoustonMediaWatch.com. Now, I say I'm the host, but I'm always joined in studio by my compadres, by my compadres from the website. These are the bloggers. This is Angelo Lawford. This is Richard Walker. These are the guys along with Lamont Mann, Jermaine Everett, and others that make HMW go. We keep our eyes, we're a media watch group. We keep our eyes on the town. We let you know how the media is doing their job. The sports media is deep into criticizing the sports franchises and the front offices of those teams, where we track and we cover and report on those guys in the same form and fashion that they do the teams. That's right. We turn the eye of scrutiny on the scrutinizers, and they just love us for it. Not really, though. All right, let's keep it rolling. You see the Twitter handles here. You'll see the Facebook handles in a moment. Follow us, folks. Talk to us. We love to interact with you. Let us know what you want to talk about. We'll talk about it. We're not scared. All right, when we left you guys, we're talking about the NBA center, the condition. I'll call it the condition of the NBA center position. I asked the guys to rate the state of the center position on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. I'm wondering out loud, is the state of the center in critical condition? I say no. Angelo Lawford says it's a 6 rating for him. To me, that's dang near critical. I think if the center position is below 8, because the big man is so important to what you can do when you have the right type of big man in the middle who has some relevant amount of ability on a fundamental level in rebounding, shot blocking, scoring, and passing the ball. He doesn't have to be great at any of them. But if you have a guy who's average at all of those and shoots any relevant amount of free throws, folks, you have a center that can help you win a championship. I don't think we have enough guys that do the basics well, but I think we have been a bit spoiled too, particularly in this town with the legacy of the big man going back as far as Elvin Hayes, Moses Malone, Hakeem Olajuwon, Ralph Sampson, Yao Ming.
Yao Ming. You had to say
Yao Ming was a good player.
Yao Ming was a good player, bro.
You said
Yao Ming was a skilled guy.
I'm not gonna steal this segment on Yao.
And Robert Horry is a Hall of Famer. Let's keep moving. I didn't get to ask you. That's called poking the bear. I didn't get to ask you, on a scale from 1 to 10, what do you rate the condition of the 5 position?
I rated it about a 7.5.
So you're about 1.5 points above his rating.
Yeah, not critical, but definitely not great. You kind of talked about some of the things that you think a big needs to have, but I think some of those things have been kind of farmed out to some of the other positions.
Explain.
You have twos and threes that can rebound as well as power forwards. Mm-hmm. You know, you got some teams where, in some cases, they rely on their backcourt to assist with rebounding.
But why are we there?
Because of the way that the game has changed. I think you're seeing less emphasis on post players. You're seeing less because of the way that the game is being played. It's changed. It's more high.
Why is it changing? It's changing because of the players on the floor.
It's because of the way these rosters are built.
But why are they building rosters? You know where I'm going with this. Why are you fighting it, Cowboy fan? Why are the rosters being built the way they're being built?
Because that's the product that they have now. It's wing players. It's spread the floor, get up and down, shoot the basketball.
Here's what I think.
It's not back to the half-court basketball.
Here's what I think the problem is.
San Antonio is one of the last teams that you're going to see like that.
See if you agree with this.
Okay.
Here's what I think the problem is, besides half of our electrical equipment that we're taping with slamming on the floor. But here's what I think the problem is. I think the problem is this. I think the fact that kids don't have to stay in college and they can go to school 1 year.
That's true.
folks in college, coaches are not developing young centers.
Nope.
And to develop a young center is different than to develop a wing player or a perimeter guard, because for one thing, elite point guards have some natural attributes that you don't coach up too much in regard to being able to see the floor, being a natural distributor. You may help them play more efficiently, but usually the attributes that make a guy a point guard are kind of built in to an extent.
Right.
2s and 3s are usually more athletic players that shoot the ball well from the perimeter. They get up and down the floor. They finish above the rim. But when you start talking about the 4 position and the 5 position, those guys take more developing to teach them how to use those big bodies. A lot of times kids 18, 19 coming out of college, their frame doesn't even develop enough to even have a chance once they make it in the NBA to be a true force in the paint, because they haven't developed the skill set, and then they don't even have the physical frame to bang with guys that probably have less talent, but by then those guys' bodies are developed and they can push them around the post how they want to. I don't think there's a lack of talent. If you can tell me 6'10", 6'11", and 7-foot players can run up and down the floor like 6'7" guys, those same guys could be developed down low to play with their back up against the basket. But it's not happening because the developmental time is not there. That's why
I think that's only part of it, though.
My man, that is a huge
part of it, but that's only part of it, because they're only developing to some degree bigs with more of a wing player type mindset, but that's kind of what the NBA wants. I think it kind of goes hand in hand. It's kind of like, the supply is beating.
But the NBA is being forced into a certain.
I don't think so.
Okay, listen. I came out of the music business, and let me tell you, there came a time in the music business where it was, on the hip hop side, it was all about writing original material, being unique. You think about, Public Enemies of the World, De La Soul, Paris out of Oakland. Remember Paris out of Oakland? NWA. People that put the pen to the pad. Then all of a sudden the bling bling era took over hip hop. And then record companies, people like Sony bought into the music business who have no musical background. And then they started producing records like factories. Artists started releasing products, 3 products in an 18-month period, when artists used to release a project maybe every 2 years. So the product got watered down. You know what I mean? And so people coming in were encouraged to do what they saw and not what they felt. You know what I mean? So I think the NBA is kind of pigeonholed itself into that situation, and it all goes back to early entry. It all goes back to the fact that remember in the draft when you could get good basketball players in the 2nd round, but you also had kids going to school at least 3 years. And it makes a huge difference. Let's move on. Still somewhat in the same area of conversation with the center position. I want to ask you guys, and I'll start with you, Angelo. If you were at the draft board, give me your top 5 centers in the NBA today.
It starts with Dwight Howard. Then I'm going to say Brook Lopez. Probably Marc Gasol. Throw in a little Houston Rocket flavor. I have to say Amir Asik. I think he's developed into a pretty nice player. I think he actually developed into a better player than the Rockets even anticipated, considering what he did in Chicago prior to that. And then I don't know. It's Roy Hibbert. Yeah, you have to say Roy Hibbert. He's a solid player. So I think that's my top 5.
So, in your top 5, there's no room for guys like Marc Gasol, no Tyler Chandler.
I think I said Marc Gasol.
Tyson Chandler. You did say Marc Gasol?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Richard.
Well, not being the Houston homer, sorry, Omar, you didn't make my cut. Pun intended. I like the little plug for the show. Starts with D12. He's the most athletic, most talented player. Bit of a diva, but he's the best package. From there, I put Roy Hibbert as number 2. Still raw, still got some developmental things, but got the size, got the potential.
So far, you and I have the same number 1 and number 2.
I think he could be. Number 3, have we forgotten completely about Kevin Garnett?
I got Kevin Garnett at number 6, and I have to admit it's more to do about how many minutes he can play at a top level at his age, at 37, 38 next
It's
season.
more of the type of impact that he has on a game.
Oh, I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah.
No argument.
You know, KG still is a solid. There's a reason why New Jersey went out and got him. He's a solid, legit center. He still dominates the boards. He still plays amazing defense, and he can score when you need him to.
Okay, keep moving. We're almost at the end of the segment.
Okay, then of course you have to have someone like DeAndre Jordan with all that potential, all that talent, the dunk face, and all that wonderful stuff.
I got him on my list.
Brook Lopez, I think, is if he can just work on his post game a little bit more, I would move him higher up the rankings, but I still think he's a top 5 center.
I think Brook Lopez can stay as he is offensively and increase his rebounding to minimum 8 rebounds a game average-wise, and maybe pick it up a bit. I have to look at his assist numbers, and he would be elite.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Because he's 19 points a game, almost 20 points a game of offense for you. Myself, I had Dwight Howard number 1, Roy Hibbert number 2, Marc Gasol number 3. Marc Gasol does so many things for you in the middle of the paint with his passing ability and his intelligence. He's a true back to the basket center, can do it all. A guy you guys are probably afraid of, but DeMarcus Cousins is a beast.
He is.
And he just wears you down and eats up so many fouls. I know he's a little out there, but he's in that. I had to go with Chandler, Tyson Chandler. He's still a great defensive center, and he can run the floor and play above the basket. Then I got Kevin Garnett, mainly because of the amount of minutes he can play for you. I got DeAndre Jordan at 7, Brook Lopez at 8, and I'm sorry, Amir Asik, he's at number 9 for me. The guy's just a beast on the boards. You can't knock that. And healthy, Andrew Bynum might be the best center in basketball.
Agreed.
But I got him at number 10.
Without the perm, though.
Got to run to a break. It is the Cut. We'll be right back. Hang in there.